friends, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Lindsay and I will be your yoga instructor for the next short practice today on our mats. Today we are working into a hip mobility, flexibility class, as well as a little bit into our core as well. So for people who have been practicing yoga for a while or who have kind of researched and looked into these things, we're really working into our Mula and our Uddiyana bandhas. So our bandhas are really about blocks, right? They're about those kind of, when we talk about our bandhas in our pelvis and in our abdomen, they really work together to set the integrity of our postures. They're so important, and they're very hard to activate one without the other. So when I find I really tuck my tailbone and engage that pelvic tilt, I find that and that's called your Mula bandha, pardon me, I find that I automatically really need to draw that tummy in to keep protecting that spine at the same time, and that's called our Uddiyana bandha. So if that just means a whole bunch of nothing to you, that's fine, but know that we're working into some integral aspects of our yoga practice, because really hip mobility is so important, as well as strength in our core for not only our yoga practice, they're really foundations as we practice, but as well as for everyday life. These things are so integral, so important, especially as we are sitting and being a little bit less mobile in everyday life. Okay, let's actually find our way into a shavasana, coming onto our back. Taking feet to either corner of the mat with the arms alongside the body. Maybe just taking a few moments to close off the eyes if you feel safe and comfortable to do so. Allowing your thoughts, if you can, to come into some stillness and maybe set an intention. So if at all possible, any distracting thoughts, try to set them aside or at least quiet them for the next 20 or so minutes. And remind yourself as you go through this practice, what did you come here for? Did you come here because you're like, hey, I need some core training? Or did you need a distraction from something going on in your life, pardon me? Whatever it is totally legitimate, and you are awesome just for showing up here today. Before we get started, I also want to say, yes, we're working into our core, but I want to say let's work into our deepest transverse abdominal muscles here. It's not about getting a six-pack or the aesthetics of looking strong in your abs, but it's really about the stability and the structure of the spine. When you have strong core muscles, you really do help to protect that back. All right, open up the eyes if they weren't already open. Let's draw the right knee in towards the chest. Let's circle out that ankle a few times in each direction, and then draw the hip or the knee side to side. It's working into some mobility in the hip joint, and then maybe drawing little circles there. Nice. All right, let's extend the leg up towards the sky, flex the foot, bring the toes towards the nose, and reach on for whatever you can along the leg, maybe the fleshy part of the calf. You can always use a strap or towel to help you get there. And let's start to peel the shoulders off the ground. Keep the gaze in front of you, maybe slightly up diagonally. Draw the tummy in towards the back, really push the lower back into the ground. And then as an option, let's hover the opposite foot off the ground, engagement through the toes, whether you're flexing the foot or pointing the toes, engaging the legs here. Whatever you're doing with the feet, you want to make sure your quads are engaged. As an option, you can take the hands to either side of that extended leg. And then let's switch the legs, either with the legs straight or bent, like scissors, going back and forth. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Make sure you finish with the right leg back in front of you. Set everything down, knees into the chest. Take the forearms around the shins. Let's just rock side to side here. Let's come for the second side. Right leg goes long, left knee in towards the chest. Let's circle at that ankle a few times, one way and then the other. And then let's take the knee side to side, back and forth, lubricating the hip joint. Maybe drawing little circles there. And the hip a few times one direction, and then the other direction. Nice. Let's draw the leg up towards the sky, flex the foot and reach for whatever you can on the back of the leg. Start to peel up the shoulder blades off of the ground, draw the tummy in, really press the low back into the ground. And as an option, you can hover the opposite foot off the ground. And again, if you want to point or flex, that's cool, it doesn't matter. Just make sure the quadricep is engaged. Think about squeezing the inner thighs together here, engaging the inner thighs. And you can keep reaching for the back of the leg here, or you can take the hands to either side of the legs. And let's switch this out. Pedaling out the feet back and forth. Again, you can always bend the legs to do this. Let's switch. 4, 3, get the shoulder blades off. 2, and 1. Let's finish off with the left leg towards us and set everything down. Back comes to the ground, shoulders come to the ground. Draw the knees into the chest, hug them in, rock side to side. One little final push onto our backs. Extend the legs straight one more time. Hands can rest on the mats with the palms facing down. Let's take the feet about hip distance apart, maybe just a little bit wider if you're tight. And let's lift just the right leg off the ground. Set it down. Then the left. Set it down. Let's go like that, just picking one foot off the ground at a time. And if you want more, you can start to peel again, the shoulders off the ground, keep the gaze up towards the sky or the ceiling, and then take the hands off the ground at the same time, palms facing in. And if you want more, switch out the feet without actually touching them to the ground. 8, for 7, engage the core. 6, draw the tummy in. 5, maybe smile. 4, 3, 2, and 1. One more time, tight ball, draw the knees in towards the chest, maybe just rock side to side. If your core was shaking, that means you are working. It means your muscles are excited. Mine were very excited, I have to say, lots of shaking. All right, let's rock up and down the length of the spine a few times if that's comfortable for you. And we'll make our way into a tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's lift up the right leg towards the side. And then draw the heel up towards the sky, so paralleling off the hips, knee in line with the hip. And then draw the knee in towards the chest, round the spine, push the ground away. Again, let's open up the leg to the side, over to the right, neutral spine. Bring the foot behind you, really kick the foot in towards kind of something imaginary behind you, up towards the sky. And then draw the knee in towards the chest, push the ground away, round the spine. Let's do that one more time. Open up the hip to the side, neutral spine. Bring the knee behind you, kick the foot up towards the sky, squeeze the glute. And then draw the knee in towards the chest, push the ground away. And let's bring that foot through the hands, tuck the back toes, breathe in to reach up into your crescent lunge. So we want to make sure we're tucking the tailbone down, squeezing the seat here, maybe even adding a bend into the back knee here. What are your bandhas doing? Are you tucking your tailbone? Is your Mula Bandha engaged? Is your tummy drawing in towards the back? Is your Uddiyana Bandha engaged? Let's take a little bit more weight into the front foot. As we send the arms back, take a little tilt here. 45-degree angle with the torso. Let's transfer the weight fully into the front foot. Pick up the back leg, Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Squeeze the standing glutes for stability. And then draw the knee in towards the chest as you bring the hands to heart center, flexing that front left foot. Let's open up the hip to the side, exposing the inside of the leg. And then to the opposite direction, exposing the outside of the leg. Knee is pointing over to the right. A few more times like this, like a little window shield wiper motion, side to side. So you're really working into your core for stability here, and of course working into your hips. And then take the left foot to the outside of the right knee, send the hips back into your standing pigeon pose. Flex that foot. Great balancing posture as well, coordination in all of your muscles, strengthening and stretching. If you want, you can raise your hand to blocks or to the floor, finding your balance here. This will be less of a balancing posture because you have more contact to the ground, but it might increase the stretch for you into the glutes and a little bit into the hips. Notice where your mind is going. Notice if you're deviating from your intention. Try to come back to that. Bring the hands back up to heart center. Lift up that left knee one more time. Opposite hand, opposite knee. Right arm comes across, left arm comes behind. Gaze can be wherever you need for balance. It will be increasingly hard as you bring the gaze back to that back hand. You can stay here, or you can reach for the outside of the foot with the right hand, a little bit more intense for the hamstring. All right, wherever you are with the knee bent or straight, let's try to release and hold, 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 hold. Swing the leg all the way back, start to bend into the front knee. Big step back, warrior two. Hands and arms are parallel to the ground. Think about the arms reaching for the short edges of the mat. Sink really, really low if you can into the front knee as you press the knee towards the pinky toe edge of the mat. Gaze can be towards the front two fingertips here, just warrior strong gaze in front of you. Let's open up into the back foot, come to the back of the mat. Skandasana, lunge. Hands can be on the ground. The hips a little more lifted if we don't have the flexibility into the hips, that is totally fine. Do what feels good. Maybe open up the arms here, maybe take your bind. Hands reach behind you and interlace behind the back. Let's bring the hands back through heart center. Find your way into a seat. Start to tilt the torso towards the back side of the mat.
Reach the back leg forward. Engage the hip flexors, draw the tummy in.
And then let's bring it back to hover. Reach it forward to lift. Back to hover. One more time, forward to lift. Back to hover, bend the knee and take the foot behind you. So feet will be about 90-90, or you can decrease the angle of this to 45 degrees on each leg if you don't have the flexibility or mobility in the hips. Take the hands to heart center or to the ground. Let's start to hover the back foot off the ground and down. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Maybe this time, and you might have to tilt your weight over to the left side. Lift the whole leg off the ground. Lift, lift, lift. Re-extend the leg forward. Take the foot to the outside of the left leg. Hands come to frame it. Extend the left leg, Skandasana. Second side already, I know. We'll just be here for a moment. Engaging, recruiting all your inner thighs and your hip flexor muscles. Let's come up into our goddess squat. Heels in, toes out. Hold, hold, hold. Let's press the knees back, squeezing the seat, opening up into the hip flexors to help you here. Press, 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 press. 4, 3, maybe lower. 2, and 1. Extend the legs, extend the arms up, gaze comes up. Exhale, forward fold. Wide-legged standing forward fold. Let's breathe into our halfway lift. Exhale, walk the hands to the front of the mat, low lunge. Send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Paddle at the feet here. Finding any movements we need in our first downward facing dog. Know that it's okay if you got lost at any point in the practice. That's okay, it happens. I get lost all the time in my own practices and I'm the one who creates them. No judgment, honor where you're at today. One final breath here before we come to the second side. Beautiful. Let's come down towards the knees. Coming for the second side. Let's lift the left knee to the side, open up that hip, send the foot behind you. Kick the foot up towards the sky, squeeze the glute, and then draw the knee in towards the chest. And again, flatten out the back, neutral spine, knee out to the side. Bring the foot behind you, knee behind you, in line with the hip, squeeze the glute. And then draw the knee in towards the chest, round the spine, push the ground away. Last time. Knee out to the side. Knee foot behind you, squeeze the glute, press the heel towards the sky like you're stomping the sky. And then draw the knee in towards the chest, push the ground away before you bring the foot through the hands, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, find your balance, feet hip distance, reach the arms up towards the sky, crescent lunge, squeezing the glutes, reaching the tailbone to the ground, maybe bend the back knee here. Arms can be wherever are comfortable, so if the arms don't feel good up towards the sky, that is fine. Take the hands to heart center. Reach, reach, reach. If your hands and arms are extended, reach tall and long and energetically through the fingertips, spread them wide. Sink a little bit lower into the standing knee. And let's tilt from the hips, send the hips back, the shoulders slightly forward into this diagonal, palms facing in, arms alongside, really the rib cage, engaging the triceps to the back of the arms here. Make sure to breathe if you've kind of lost your breath. Take some weight into that front foot, increasingly so you can lift up the back foot off the ground. Take the hands to heart center, Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Balance into the standing leg by squeezing the glutes. Work the front knee in the direction of straight, but if you need a soft bend there to help you out, absolutely take it. And then let's draw that knee up towards hip height, flex the foot here, working into your balance. Let's open up the inner thigh to the side, knee out towards the right side, and then reverse that right knee over to the left, expose the outer hip, outer thigh. Opening it up, closing it off. So we're working into the external rotation and internal rotation of the hips. One final time, open it up, knee comes over to the side, internally rotate. And then open up the hip, take the right foot to the outside of the left knee, standing pigeon pose, send the hips back, draw the tummy in for balance. Hold it here, you got this, I promise. If your calf at any point is too fiery, it is lighting up, because I know standing balances have a tendency to do this, then take a break, pause the video if you need to. Option to take the hands to blocks or to the ground to increase this stretch. Might help you with some of your balance here, which is part of the reason I'm doing it. Make sure to breathe. Holding your breath will not help you, I promise. With control, let's come back up if the hands were on the ground. Lift up the knee one more time. Opposite hand, opposite knee. So left hand comes to the outside of the right knee. As an option, extend the right arm back behind you. Gaze can go there with you if you want to challenge your balance. Very difficult, especially if you're on uneven ground. I feel myself shaking, but that's okay. We're not here forever. As an option, as I fall out of this, you can reach for the outside of the foot and extend the leg. No worries, no judgment. If you do fall out, you just get right back in. It's really not a big deal. Keep the knee, the leg where it is, whether it's straight or bent. Take the hand off the leg, hover, 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 use your strength. And then send the leg long and back, bend into that front knee, step back, warrior 2, front, heel, back arch alignment. Extend the arms forward, parallel to the ground. Reach the fingers energetically for the shorter edges of the mat. Come down a little bit lower into the standing knee. Press that knee towards the back pinky toe edge of the mat. Breathe here. Breathe always. We lead with our breath in yoga. So important. Let's take the hands to heart center, open up the back foot, lift the front left toes off the ground as we come to our skandasana. Use a little bit of pressure and tension into the right elbow to open up the knee and squeeze the glutes to really help you here. Now your hands can always be on the ground. You can be a little bit more lifted. Hands can be onto blocks. You can even take a block underneath one of your glutes. Option to extend the arms, open up the chest, or to bind behind the back. Keep opening up through the heart, maybe smile, curl the outer corners of your mouth into a little smirk, a little smile, whatever you need here. Let's find our way into a seat. Open up into a 45-degree angle in that left leg. Let's pick up the back leg now. Hands can be to heart center or to the ground. And then bring in a front, nice and straight. Send it back, hover, almost like a pigeon pose. Coming forward, lengthen it out. Behind you and in front. behind you, and in front. Last time, behind you, and in front. Let's take that leg behind, making two 90-degree angles or two 45-degree angles with the legs. It's okay if your hips are lifting here. Try to press the hips down, squeeze the glute, hands to heart center or beside you. Let's lift the foot up and down, up and down, lift and lower for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Maybe this time you hover the whole leg off the ground, knee lifts. Notice that you'll probably want to sway over towards the right side. That's okay. If you have a tension into the obliques, you are working the obliques as well. Yes, I know, intense. Okay, let's send the leg in front of you, nice and straight. Try to draw the left hip into the hip socket. Cross the left leg to the outside of the right leg. Send the right leg long into your Skandasana. We're not going to hold it on this side. We already have. Taking the hands to heart center, pressing the elbow into the knee. Recruiting all your strength to come up into your goddess squat. You can stay here just statically holding this, or you can lift the toes or lift the heels, pardon me, lifting the heels off the ground and lower. Lift and lower. 4, 3, sink the seat lower. 2, hold it here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Heel stamp down, reach the arms up, parallel off the feet, shorter edges of the mat. Let's come all the way down. Let's breathe in, halfway lift. Left hand stays planted, right arm reaches up towards the sky. Try to draw that front hip in. Maybe the hand comes back behind you and reaches for the inner crease on the left side, the left hip. Reach that arm back up. Breathe in, halfway lift. As you exhale, right hand plants down to a block or to the mat. Reach the left arm up towards the sky. Try to draw the left hip in. You can hold it here, or you can take the hand for the inner crease on the right side. Opening up the chest, try to stack the top shoulder over the bottom. Try not to dump a ton of weight into the heels. Try to draw some weight forward into the toes. Get a little bit lighter in the fingertips as well. Breathe in to reach the hand up towards the sky. Exhale to bring the hand down, and then walk the hands forward, passing through your lunge, sending that front foot up and back, downward facing dog. Taking any movements that you need here, noticing if you feel even from one side to the other. Observe the differences between your mobility and flexibility in your hips from one side to the other. And know, again, this is absolutely normal and to be expected. Even if we're working on closing the gap between one side and the other, know that we'll probably, for a lot of us, myself included, we'll probably never get there, but it doesn't mean we don't try. Let's breathe in, reach the right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, draw the knee in towards the chest, step the foot through. Take the back knee down and send the hips back into your half splits. Try to keep the hands onto the ground or onto blocks here. So as much as this is usually a stretchy pose, we're gonna work into more the flexibility or mobility and strength, I should say, in our hip flexors. Let's try to lift the foot off the ground and lower. Notice if you're tight into the hamstrings and into the quads, you might get a little Charlie horse. Let's do that 3 more times. Lift and lower, up and down. Last one, and lower. Bring that leg back down, send the weight forward into the heel, pick up the back leg, back knee, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Next side, let's breathe in, extend the left leg up towards the sky, exhale, draw the knee in towards the chest, step the foot through, take the back knee down, send the hips back, hands can be on blocks or the ground, you know what's coming next. Really flex the toes towards the nose, plant the hands into the ground, draw the tummy in. Let's lift the leg and lower. Draw the core in, this will help, I promise. 3 more times. Lift, lower. For 2. And 1, lower. Coming back forward through your lunge, pick up the back knee, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's come forward into our plank, hold it here. Hold, hold, hold. Spread the shoulders wide, draw the tummy in, 1 final push for the core. Let's come on to the outer edge of the left foot, the inner edge of the right foot, over to the left side. Right arm can come up towards the sky here. Holding it here in your side plank. Maybe coming into your tree variation. Bringing the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Maybe the bicep comes overhead. Hold it here. Re-extend that foot. Passing through our plank. Let's hold for an inhale. Hold for an exhale. Second side, coming onto the outer edge of the right foot, inner edge of the left foot. Reach the left arm up towards the sky. Really lift the hips by digging in to your foundations. Plant into your foundations, root there. Option to take the foot into your tree variation, left foot to the inside of the leg. Just be careful of the knee joint here. Maybe the bicep comes overhead. Re-extend the leg, passing through our tabletop position. One final core push here. Drop the knees down, find our way to a seat. Let's extend the right leg and take the left foot to the inside of it. Let's reach the right arm across or just down in front of it as we breathe in to extend the left arm. As you exhale, deepen the side bend, open up the chest to the ceiling. Now know that you can always hold it here. If you'd like a little bit more, let's come up, hold this position, take the hands to frame that front foot, very similar to what we did in our half splits. Flex the foot, try not to lean forward, keep everything nice and long. Let's lift and lower. For 3, 2, 1, maybe hold, release. Nice. Let's just take a moment, forward fold over the front leg here before we come to the second side. Coming back up, switching this out, left leg extends, right knee bends, foot to the inside of the leg here. Left arm can reach across the body for a twist, or it can just be down in front of you. Breathing in to extend that top arm, open up the chest, exhale to deepen this bend, the side body stretch. And as always, whenever we're kind of reaching to one side, notice if the opposite sit bone and glute really wants to lift off the ground, try to plant the right sit bone down. Now we can always stay here, or if you did so on the first side, let's come up, face towards that front foot. Kind of neutralize the hips. Engage the core by drawing the tummy in, lift through the crown of the head, shoulder stack over the hips, leg lifts and lowers. 3 more like that, you got it, I promise. 3, 2, try not to lean back. Last one. Whew, lower, my leg is shaking, oh my goodness. Let's reset by forward folding. You can always take a strap or a towel around the foot. And we have one final push. I promise this is the last one. We're going with this theme of lifting. Let's come back up. Extend both legs. So if you haven't given those first variations a try, you can definitely do so with one leg bent. Let's face towards the right foot first. Make sure your quads are engaged, your toes are flexing up towards the sky, framing the right leg with either hand. Spread the fingers wide. Try to flatten out the back. And let's lift the leg up and down. Oh my goodness. For 3, 2, 1. Whew. All right, shake that out. We'll come to the second side. Slightly facing our chest towards the left foot. Hands come around the left leg. And let's lift it up and down. So intense. For 3, try not to lean back. 2, and 1. Let that go. Whew. Shake it out. Oh my goodness. All right, 1 more. You can do what we just did. You can even just come into a stretch if you're like, I've had enough, and just come down into a forward fold here. Let's come back towards the right side. Take the hands around. Take the hands to either side of the leg. Lift the seat off the ground. Just hover that seat off the ground. So working a little bit more into the core Uddiyana Bandha compared to our Mula Bandha. And if you want to try, you can try to hover the legs off the ground. Quite intense. Oh my goodness. Whew. Give that a try or two, and we'll come to the second side. Over to the left, hands framing that front foot. Flex the feet. Option to just lift the seat here and hold. Already quite a challenge. Try to send the hips back behind you to help. And then maybe hover the feet off the ground, even if it's just for a second. I'm not that good at this, and I don't practice it often, which means maybe I probably should if it's something I want to work on. All right, if you haven't already, let's start to walk the hands in front of you. I'm gonna take one forearm over top of the other and just forward fold here. Keep flexing the feet up towards the sky, engaging the quads here, trying to plant down through the sit bones. It's okay if you're upright with your hands on blocks and you're not that low in your forward fold. No judgment. Let's breathe in to come back up. Take the legs in front of you, keep the legs extended. Reach the arms forward, draw the tummy in, bringing one vertebrae at a time to the ground by engaging your core, maybe hovering just for a moment, hover the shoulder blades off the ground and come all the way down. Let's draw the right knee in towards the chest. Almost like we did at the beginning. You can revisit that exercise. And then let's bring the right foot to the left knee. Left foot can stay on the ground here, or it can come up off the ground, interlacing the hands behind the left leg or to the shin. Reclined pigeon pose here. Draw the left knee in towards the chest, press the right knee away from you. Let's take that foot back down to the ground, spinal twist with the legs like this, bringing the knees over to the left. Right arm comes to the side, gaze goes there with you. If this doesn't feel good, you can just take the knees stacked over top of each other with them bent, decreasing this twist and intensity. Coming back up through center, let's extend the right leg long, left knee into the chest, and maybe revisiting that first exercise, taking the knee side to side, up and down in circles, whatever you need here. And then opening up that hip, pick up the right knee, bring the left foot to the knee, and you can keep the foot on the ground here, or you can hover, bring the right foot off, thread the hands through, hands interlace either to the shin or the back of the leg. Use that tension to draw the right knee into the chest and open up the left knee away from you. Start to congratulate yourself on a really difficult class. That's kind of what I'm doing, to be honest, because that was quite challenging. It was challenging to teach. It was really intense into my quads. It's a reminder that I should be stretching a little bit more there. Let me know if that's something you would like to see. Let's bring that foot back down with the knees and the feet in this placement. Let's draw them over to the right side of the mat. Left arm extends beside you, gaze goes there with you. You can always find a supine twist variation that suits you better. It is your practice, so I will not be offended if you do something different from me. Try to plant the left shoulder to the mat here. Know that the knees will likely hover, especially that top knee off the ground. Coming back in through center, find any final movements that feel good for you. Maybe just window shield wiping the legs side to side. And then we'll find our way into our Shavasana when you're ready. Taking the feet to either side of the mat, either corner. Arms rest alongside the body, palms facing up. Know that you are so awesome. It is amazing that you just showed up on your mat today. For whatever reason that may be, the reason doesn't entirely matter. Try to take this time to honor yourself, honor your body. I think it can be really revolutionary, really. It can feel like an act of resistance in our busy age to just take a minute or more, as long as we need, to just do nothing, to just sit here in stillness. If you haven't already, check out my Instagram and Facebook page. Follow me there, Lindsay Elizabeth Yoga on both, and subscribe down below. Let me know what you would like to see next. I hope to see you soon. Namaste.